right, let's get it. So, 2022 goals. Every year at about October, I start thinking about my goals and thinking about what kind of person do I want to be in.
We're like recording.
Okay. Why October, you may ask? October is always coincidentally the time of year that I end up finishing that year's goals. Crazy, I know. There's obviously something I'm doing right here, so I wanted to share it with you all. What is the secret sauce, you may ask? The secret sauce is always ask yourself, what kind of person do I want to be by the end of this upcoming new year? By doing this, we set ourselves up for values or feelings-based goals versus materialistic or physical goals. By this, I mean, do not focus on materialistic goals like, I want to land this job and lose 10 kilos next year. Instead, focus on how you want to feel in yourself as a person. And you'll find that all of the materialistic goals that you wanted anyway will end up working themselves out. And I'll tell you why in a second. I think that our society is so material focused. So every time we set goals, it's very materialistic. Achieving material successes isn't the thing that gives you personal development. The journey of attaining those successes may assist you in finding this growth process, but they are not the thing that actually propel you to grow. That is all you. You are the only person that can help yourself grow, period. We see the latter all the time. Hyper successful people or rich people that have all the material goals they have strived for and worked for, but aren't happy. So by laying the foundation of who you want to be versus what you want to have, you start to attract the material and physical goals organically and effortlessly as a result of this new and improved person that you have become. It is a center out approach. If we look at this energetically or spiritually, what you are doing is putting the bulk of your energy into building a high quality foundation of who you are at your core. And that centeredness in who you are is going to then attract what you want. So instead of having to fork out multiple streams of effortful energy for each individual goal or project, be centered in who you are, and what you want will always come. So how do we apply this practically? I've split my process up into 3 main sections. Number 1, a visualization meditation to then create your future self paragraph. Number 2 is S.M.A.R.T goal setting. And number 3 is my New Year's Eve cleansing rituals. Here we go. All right. I'm going to begin by taking you through a short meditation. All you need is a comfy, safe space to sit and close your eyes, and a journal and a pen on hand. First thing I want you to do is close your eyes and focus on your breath to find a space of stillness. I'll give you about 1 minute to clear your thoughts. Feel free to also pause the video. I'm going to now ask you, what kind of person do you want to be by the end of this upcoming year? I want you to allow all the random pictures and words to come up in your mind without judgment. Perhaps movie characters, archetypes, visions of a dream lifestyle, and even visceral feelings within your body may present. Notice them and ask them to stay within the space. Now, one by one, explore each and every one of these thought forms. Begin to interact with them. Ask them why they came up, and aim to find the specificities. I'll give you 1 minute to explore, or feel free to pause the video. All right, now, slowly and gently coming out of the meditation, I want you to immediately grab your notebook and write down everything you saw in as much detail as possible. Feel free to pause the video. All right, so looking at your page, you might have an amalgamation of different thought forms or ideas or feelings, or you may even have a completely fleshed out idea of who you want to be by the end of this year. Regardless though, you have to do this meditation multiple times in order to give your subconscious mind time to process and keep refining the specificities of what you actually want and who you actually want to be. Remember, with manifestation, the more specific, the better. A good idea would be to do this meditation once every day for a week straight, and just do it for 3 minutes every day. You can use the first minute to clear your mind, the second minute to do the visualization process, and then the third minute to write down everything that's come up for you. And then by the end of the week, what you'll do is you'll take all of your visualization meditations and merge them together and hopefully write your future self paragraph. How to take the thought forms and the concepts that you've found in your visualization meditation and then turn that into your future self paragraph. One year I kept visualizing Gal Gadot playing Wonder Woman, and I was confused because I didn't know why I kept seeing her. And because I'm an actor as well, I thought maybe I wanted to play a role like that. And yeah, there's some truth to that. But the real reason why I kept envisioning Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman was because I craved to feel that same sense of power and embodiment she has within her body as Wonder Woman within me. It was something about the Wonder Woman as an archetype that I really craved to embody myself. So I wrote in my future paragraph, by the end of this new year, I want to feel like Wonder Woman. I want to feel strong and powerful within my physical body and sexy and feminine within my energy at the same time. I will do this by treating myself more like an athlete this year. So I went on to pursue the feeling of being Wonder Woman that year. And let me tell you, it worked. Every workout I did, I played dramatic action music from either the Wonder Woman score or any kind of action film. And I envisioned that I was one of those Amazon women working out in their training grounds. I imagined that I had this superhuman strength, which then gave me this surge of energy I didn't even know I had in each workout. I treated myself, the way I exercised, the way I ate, like I was a professional athlete, that this was something that I was supposed to do and I had to take seriously, which helped me focus and push even harder than I ever thought I could. Everything became so much more intentional as a result of aiming for this feeling within my body rather than aiming to lose a number on a scale, which I had been doing the previous years. And when I looked in the mirror, I started to see her. I started to see my own Wonder Woman starting to form and define. And I started to truly begin to really, really love my body and really love the process of building my body. So that is an example of how to take a thought form, flesh it out, and put it into your future self paragraph. With each kind of thought form that pops up or whatever, you should have made a nice future self paragraph that's really detailed. The future self paragraph should really give you a feeling of how you want to feel by the end of this next year. Every time you read it, because you will be reading it multiple times throughout the year to remind yourself and keep yourself on track, it should really give you a feeling. So even with the choice of wording, it should be feeling focused, how you want to feel in your body, and it should evoke that feeling every time that you read it. All right, so now taking that future paragraph, we're going to break that down into smaller goals, and yes, even material physical goals that will now put you on the path of attaining who you want to be in that future paragraph. Now here's where Notion comes in. This is not an ad, by the way. I'm just completely obsessed with Notion. So what is Notion? Notion is a note-taking software and project management software that is used for note-taking, task management, project management, knowledgeable management, and personal knowledge management. If you are a huge list person like I am, you can actually make lists within lists within lists within lists within lists on Notion. The possibilities for tailoring and personalizing your Notion are practically endless. As you can see here, I've created a board on my Notion that allows me to create tabs, each of which acts as their own page. I've used an emoji per tab to categorize each goal into the following categories: well-being and spiritual, relationships, career, money, job, social media, brown paint, life skills and learning, life and fun. I've organized my future self paragraph goals into the following categories, broken them down further into the SMART goals, which I'm about to get into, within each page, and then put them into the following columns on the board. The columns being material goals, non-material goals, because they're more difficult and intangible to complete, so I have to be more on top of these, a doing column and a done column, so I can physically see where I'm at with all my goals. So one step would be to write your sub goals, and then within the page, we can begin to implement the SMART goal strategy. It works like a criteria. Is the goal specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and what is the time constraint? So for example, using that Gal Gadot analogy that I just used, I'm going to now break that goal down into smaller goals using my SMART goal strategy. So S stands for specific. We want to get as specific as possible about what our goal actually is and what we actually want. So I've written here, I want to feel confident, strong, and sexy in my body. The next one is M, which stands for measurable. Is my goal measurable? How do I know when I have actually achieved my goal? So I've written, what are some of these numbers that I want to aim at? So this is where you can start to say, I want to be able to squat 50 kilos. I want to be able to run 3Ks without a rest. Or even just things like I want to be able to take like bikini photos and feel confident with myself, but we want to be even more specific and measurable, remember? So I've written here to be able to take less than 5 bikini photos and be happy with any of them. That is a good way of measuring my success. Now the next one is A for actionable or sometimes attainable. Either way, it's about breaking your goal into smaller, more attainable goals so that you can work step by step in order to achieve the big goal. So actionable, for this one I've written maybe 4 or 5 goals. I've written meal prep every day for the week and begin to actually enjoy the process of shopping and cooking. Do weighted sessions at least 3 times a week. Warm up my body before every session to ensure my focus is switched on and that I'm present to each workout. Buy some cute ass activewear that makes me feel like a boss bitch. Sign up to a gym membership, sign up to a movement therapy class. All of these kind of physical things that you can do to kind of chip away at the goal a little bit at a time. And what you can also do is you can assign each little sub actionable goal per month so that way each month you are trying to check off at least one of these actionable boxes so that you know that by the end of the year you will have made some steps towards achieving the larger goal. So the last 2 sections are R for realistic. Is it realistic? Am I getting ahead of myself? Is it too big for the time constraint? And the last one, of course, is the time constraint. Is there a time constraint? Is it for within the year, or is it you have to finish it by a certain point? I'm just now showing you some of my personal goals to show you how I've broken them down into the actionable steps. So I'm at a point now I can do the SMART goal strategy in my head, and I've just written all the actionable parts down and the measurable parts down, because I find them the most important, because usually my time constraint is by the end of the year, and specific and realistic, I can do that all in my head. So for example, life and fun, I've written drink more and dance more and go out more. That's a unique one. I'm sure most people are writing drink less. But yeah, I find that I just really need to loosen up a little bit more this year and not take life so seriously. All right, now we enter into the third and last section, which is all about cleansing for the new year and some of my New Year's Eve rituals. So, by New Year's Eve day, I aim to have read through all of my goals on my future self paragraph and refined it to the absolute maximum. And I should be so happy with them that I'm not even thinking back about them. And for me, honestly, it takes from October. So it takes 3 months to get to this point, which is a bit unnecessary. I think that realistically you could probably do this in a week. But for me, I really enjoy just having it there to sit on it and think about it for a couple months. It's not that I'm doing a visualization meditation every day. It's just that I keep thinking about, is there anything more I can add? Is there anything I've missed out? Because again, with manifestation, the more specific you are, the more rewards you'll find you'll reap. Make sure that what you're putting out there in one go is the best you can, so that you will reap those rewards. New Year's Eve, I really, really enjoy the process of having a fire. Usually, I think every New Year's Eve since I've kind of started to do this process, we've had some sort of bonfire situation. And what I do is I take my journal and I write out a letter to myself, and all of the things that I wish to cleanse from this year, all the bad habits that I don't want to take into the new year, negative energy, negative people. I list everything down. There's something about writing it down onto a physical page that really, really works. And then I rip that page out, chuck it into the fire, and whilst in this sort of meditative state, I just breathe all of that energy out, and it's all in that paper, and that paper is burning, and it's left me, if that makes sense. If I'm at an event that doesn't allow me to be in that state to properly write this letter, I do that beforehand and take it with me. Ensure that I've channeled all of that energy that I want to release into that physical piece of paper, so that when I release it into the fire, that is now gone from me. It's gone from my energy. It's gone from my physical being. It is completely cleansed and released. And it's such an easy thing to do. And I really think that, I don't know, it seems really hippy-dippy spiritual and not tangible, but it works so well. And it's something that I would recommend for everyone and anyone to do at the end of every year, but also just as a ritual throughout your year if you're ever wanting to release anything. Another thing I love to do is saging. It really works. Who cares if it's a placebo? Your energy actually really feels a lot more grounded and cleansed. So saging is something that I always do, and I will take it wherever I am on New Year's Eve. Another ritual is tarot readings. I love to get these done on special occasions. I didn't get it done this year, but I got it done last year because one of my best friends reads tarot. And her reading was absolutely incredible. I'll insert a photo if I can find it. But it literally underpinned everything that was coming up for me that I wanted to pursue in the new year, and reinforced what I wanted the year to be about. So I would highly recommend doing tarot or having some sort of energy cleansing session with a healer or a chiro or naturopath, kinesiologist, any of these kind of specialists that are able to work through either your energetic or spiritual body and cleanse your system for a fresh and clean start for the new year. The last thing that I love to do as a New Year's ritual is to just organize and clean my spaces in my life. So spaces including my laptop. I go through all of my folders and all the downloads and just clean everything and make sure everything's organized, my Notion included. My room, I do a massive spring cleaning of my room, and I make sure that everything is so neat and organized, so that January 1st, even though I might not even be starting work on that day or whatever, it's I'm ready to go. I'm ready to smash my goals for the year. I'm ready to be this new person. Yeah, so I think cleaning and organizing really helps. I think the last thing that is the hardest thing when it comes to New Year's resolutions is the fact that we don't break old habits. So I'm going to talk through really quickly how you can go about doing that, because old habits really hold us back. And no matter how great your new goals are for the new year, sometimes those old habits come in and really freaking break you and tear you down and prohibit you from growing into this new person that you want to be and doing all these new goals. So how to break old habits? Well, I love this because this is a very tangible thing. It's on my Notion. It is called a habit tracker. So this is my Notion, as you can see. I'm going to show you my habit tracker. So habit tracker. This habit tracker is actually a template from Thomas Frank. If you don't know who Thomas Frank is, he's this amazing sort of productivity guru on YouTube. He's been around for ages, and he actually helped me throughout my entire VCE period. Lots of study hacks and organizational tips and things like that. But basically, this is one of his templates that I've used. It's called a habit tracker. And basically what it does is you put in your habits for every single day. And as you can see, like meditation is something that I want to do every day. I've gotten a lot better at it last year, but I still need to kind of keep breaking that bad habit of not meditating every day for the new year. So I put that in, and like handstands, vocals, calf rises, all these random things that I want to make sure that I'm doing every day to stay consistent. And what his habit track actually does is when you tick these off for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, etc., it actually keeps a log at the bottom. You can't see it right now, but it keeps a tally of how many times out of the week you've followed through with all your habits. And then after that week is over, it records it here. And then for each week it has a tally, and then you can keep basically a whole database of how often you have completed your habits per week, per month, and per year, which is so awesome because it beats what I was doing earlier with my diary, just kind of ticking them off, because now I can actually count it and be like, by the end of 2022, I could be like, I have meditated 90% of the time this year. That's a really easy, tangible way of breaking some of those habits. Yeah, I think that's everything. I hope this video is helpful. If you did find it helpful, if you want me to do more videos like this one, please give me a like and a comment and a subscribe and the bell icon if you want to be notified of more videos, all of that stuff, because it really does help a lot. Yeah, one of my goals is to do more YouTube and podcasts next year. So I hope all of your goals and all of your manifestations come true for the new year. I'm sending you lots of love. Happy New Year!